The average person spends over $300,000 in their lifetime on things they don't even remember buying. Most millionaires don't actually drive luxury cars. In fact, the most popular vehicle for a millionaire is a Ford F-150. 80% of people are currently living paycheck to paycheck, and that includes people earning six-figure salaries. But the last stat on this list completely changed how I see money forever, and it might just change your entire life too. We like to think that we are in control of our finances, but the reality is that most of us are operating on autopilot. We move through life making decisions based on what we see others doing, rather than looking at the cold, hard data. Most people don't fail financially because they are lazy or because they don't work hard enough. They fail because they believe wrong financial narratives that have been passed down for generations. Data destroys excuses and it destroys illusions. When you finally understand the real numbers, money stops being an emotional burden and it starts being a mathematical equation. Today, we aren't just looking at numbers, we are looking at what those numbers mean for your future and exactly what you need to do differently to achieve true financial freedom. Stat number 10. Most people think they understand money, but basic financial literacy tests show otherwise. In a famous study, only 1/3 of adults could answer 3 simple questions about interest rates and inflation correctly. This is shocking because it proves that confidence does not equal competence. People are out here making major life decisions like buying houses and taking on student loans without understanding the basic mechanics of how debt works. What this actually means is that the majority of the population is playing a game where they don't even know the rules. If you want to win, your action takeaway is simple. Stop assuming you know the basics. You need to actively learn about investing, taxes, and how inflation erodes your wealth. And this lack of knowledge gets even worse when you see how much inflation is actually costing you every single day. Stat number 9. Inflation quietly destroys your wealth at a rate that most people cannot comprehend. If you had $100 in your pocket in the year 2000, that same $100 would only have the purchasing power of about $54 today. You haven't lost any physical bills, but you've lost nearly half of your ability to buy things. This is shocking because it means that saving money in a traditional bank account is actually a guaranteed way to lose wealth over time. What this means is that your safe savings account is a leak in your financial bucket. To fix this, you must shift your mindset from being a saver to being an investor. You need to put your money into assets that grow faster than the rate of inflation if you ever want to get ahead. But even people who understand that and choose to invest are making one massive mistake that ruins their returns. Stat number 8. The average individual investor significantly underperforms the overall stock market. While the S&P 500 has averaged roughly 10% annual returns over the last few decades, the average investor often sees less than half of that. Why? Because of emotional investing. People see the market drop, they panic, and they sell at the bottom. Then they wait until things look safe again and buy back in at the top. This emotional roller coaster kills wealth building before it even starts. What this means is that your brain is often your own worst enemy when it comes to money. The action you need to take is to stop chasing hype and stop trying to time the market. Develop a long-term strategy, automate your investments, and leave them alone regardless of what the news says. Stat number 7. The average person wastes thousands of dollars every year on small, forgotten subscriptions. Research shows that many people underestimate their monthly subscription spending by hundreds of dollars. We sign up for a free trial, forget to cancel, and that $10 a month quietly drains our accounts for years. These micro leaks are what drain your macro wealth. This is shocking because it shows how the behavioral psychology of convenient spending is designed to keep you broke. What this actually means is that you are trading your future freedom for services you don't even use. Your action step is to perform a full audit of your bank statements today. If you haven't used a service in 30 days, cancel it immediately. Those small amounts, when invested, turn into a fortune over time. Stat number 6. The overwhelming majority of global wealth is owned by a very small percentage of the population who own assets rather than just collecting a salary. This wealth concentration isn't just about unfairness. It's about a fundamental difference in how people view money. Most people work for money, while the wealthy have their money work for them through asset ownership like stocks, real estate, or businesses. This is shocking because it highlights the massive gap between being a consumer and being an owner. To change your trajectory, you must shift your mindset. Every time you spend money, ask yourself if you are buying a liability that loses value or an asset that gains value. Aim to become an owner of the economy, not just a customer of it. 5. 70% of lottery winners and significant inheritance recipients go broke within a few years. This is one of the most significant money habits since it shows that additional money doesn't repair poor management. If you can't handle $1,000, you'll never manage $1 million. We are told that a big break is all we need, although the facts contradicts this. Income is less significant than behavior. You must develop financial discipline now while you have less to be ready when you have more. You should make a budget and stick to it now regardless of your income. Stat number 4. Wealthy earners live paycheck to paycheck just like low earners. Nearly half of persons earning over $100,000 would struggle to fund a $1,000 emergency. This is attributable to lifestyle inflation, the tendency to spend more as income grows. This is alarming since it disproves the idea that increased pay solves all financial issues. Individuals are locked in a social comparison cage, buying bigger mansions and quicker automobiles to keep up with individuals they don't like. You must enhance your financial margin, not your lifestyle. At least half of your increase should be invested before it hits your account. Stat 3. Over 80% of millionaires are self-made and did not inherit. The inheritance myth that you must be born affluent to be wealthy is debunked. Most millionaires performed average jobs, lived within their means, and maintained consistent routines to acquire wealth. This is surprising because it puts you in charge. It means your current condition is not permanent unless you choose it to be. You should quit making excuses about your background and upbringing. Develop high-value abilities and let compounding do the work over decades. Math gets really awkward here. Stat number 2. The average person works over 90,000 hours. If you despise your job or are simply surviving, you're giving up a lot of your human experience to pay bills. The math of your existence shows that money isn't just currency. It represents your finite time on Earth. This is astonishing because most of us waste our most important asset, time, on unnecessary stuff. Find strategies to leverage your revenue. Start investing in assets or side enterprises that can replace your labor to free up those 90,000 hours. Finally, the stat that changes everything. Stat number 1. Waiting 10 years to invest can cost millions. Consider person A and person B. A starts investing $500 a month at 20 and ends at 30, never contributing another dime. Person B starts at 30 and invests $500 per month until 60. Compound interest will likely make person A richer even though person B invested for 30 years and person A only 10. Waiting to start costs most individuals more than the figure, which is shocking. The worst mistake you'll make is waiting until next year. Starting now versus later is the difference between retiring in luxury and working until death. Where will you be in 10 years if you continue as you are? These data can be daunting, but they should wake you up. What number was personal to you? Maybe you recognized inflation's loss or how many hours you work for a paycheck. You needn't change your life overnight. Choose one item to alter today. Most people will observe and do nothing, but you have data. You understand money. Share your most shocking stat with someone who needs a reality check. If this fascinated you, subscribe for more money psychology insights. Most people never check the numbers, but you did. Use this knowledge to create your ideal life.